Good afternoon. Welcome to Spotlight on Urbandale. We've got the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce here, and we're going to spotlight some of our current members. And today we have to start off with, we have Pat Pithan, and he's with Imaging Technologies, and you are, from my understanding, the Director of Business Development.
That is correct.
Pat, tell me what that is. Tell me what that means. Director of, sounds kind of important.
Well, it's basically sales manager.
Okay.
I'm what we consider a selling sales manager, so I have a certain area and accounts that I'm responsible for, but then I'm also responsible for our sales staff. So I manage their efforts and help them out every day.
Now, Pat, how many sales staff is that then?
Total of 6, including myself.
Okay. Has that recently grown? Tell me a little bit about how you started.
Yeah.
About Imaging Technologies.
Well,
let's start there.
Goes back a long ways. I started with Imaging Technologies back in 1986 as a salesperson, and managed a territory and have for a good majority of those years. But here, just in the last couple of years, we've really started to grow, and we've started to add staff, and we've started to grow our sales area. We used to cover about 5 or 6 counties. Now we're up to covering about 40 counties in the state of Iowa. So with that growth, required a lot of additional staff. So we brought on additional salespeople, and we needed somebody to help direct their efforts and help them with that. And I had a fair amount of success selling, so it was just kind of a nice fit.
Then did you create a program for your sales staff? How did you get up to speed to be able to coach, manage, train?
Yeah, we did. We've put together a program. It was kind of kind of learned on my own, a lot of it, but with the help of a lot of other sales professionals that I subscribe to and listen to and read, and with a lot of their coaching, it's helped me establish and put together some different programs that help us with managing our staff and keeping them productive every day.
Well, talk a little bit about Imaging Technologies. What do you do?
Yeah, we're in the office equipment technology business is the easiest way to explain it. We've been around since 1937, so we have been around a long time. Our business started with a gentleman by the name of Gilbert Miner, and he sold typewriter ribbons, and so that was how our business actually started. And then as technology just changes, so does our business. So we went from initially selling typewriter ribbons to, selling typewriters, to adding machines, to, all types of equipment like that. A big portion of our equipment, once we got into the 1970s, went into the copiers. And so our business was built on selling a lot of copiers. And then for those of you that are older like me, you'll remember that then we started selling fax machines. You'll remember that. That was a big thing back in the mid 80s, and so that kind of helped grow our business even more, selling fax machines. So and now we're into the copiers have changed so much, and now they're an MFP device. We refer to them as an MFP, which is a multifunctional printer. They print, they copy, they scan, they fax. So that's kind of once you connect it to the network, then that's kind of opened us up into a lot of other areas as well. So now we're not only just a hardware provider, but we also work with a lot of software, workflow solutions, and IT support. We do a lot of that's probably the biggest growth area of our business right now is our IT support. So we're that IT professional that a lot of small businesses can't afford. They'll outsource those services to us.
Now, with that IT support, is that still part of Imaging Technologies?
Yes.
Okay. Now, recently you made probably 2 years ago, made a move.
Yes, we did.
Your building. So tell me a little bit about what you did. You merged, didn't you?
Yeah. We have 2 different parts of our company, and one is M&M Sales Company, and that was when our company started back in 1937. They were M&M Sales, and they have been forever. But we were a separate branch of M&M Sales, and we mainly focused on a different product line. We have a couple different product lines that we offer. Konica Minolta is one of our manufacturers that we represent, our largest one, along with Sharp. And so the Imaging Technologies was the Sharp arm of our company, and we were in a separate facility. And we've merged some of our services. We brought our 2 service teams together. just to be more efficient and better. And you'll see some of our cars running around town that say MMIT, Technical Services. And that's a merger of the M&M sales technical staff and the imaging technology technical staff. So with that, it just kind of made sense for us to move into that facility, and we had the extra space, and just in an effort to be more efficient and more productive, it worked out.
So you talked about the vehicles running around town. So you've got sales.
Yes.
And you've got service. Is that right?
That's correct.
So you service all of that equipment, the Sharp, the Minolta, all of those?
Yes.
Also.
All the equipment that we sell or that we put into a customer's office, we service and support all that product. And that's when you see those cars that are buzzing around town. Those are our technicians that are going on site to take care of those customers.
So back in the 1930s, how many employees do you think were there?
I'm not quite sure how many. That's a good question. I'll have to ask our current owner and his father, who's still alive, Jerry Miner, who is we're a third generation company. Gilbert started, as I'd mentioned earlier. Then Gilbert's son, Jerry, who's still alive today, he's in probably his mid-80s. He still comes in the office periodically. And then his son, Tom, has now been president for about 20 years. But that's a good question. I'll need to ask Jerry. I would guess it was probably very few. I think it was maybe just a couple, 2 or 3 people.
And now how big are you?
49.
49.
49 employees now. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Yep. So let's go back a little bit. You talked about initially back the typewriters. Now, I am a grandma, so I remember the typewriters. In fact, I even changed typewriter ribbons.
Yeah.
So that's dating us. Anybody have any typewriters these days?
Very few. Very few. Matter of fact, I was in an office one day and we got to talking about typewriters, and there was a young person there, I think, just fresh out of college, and they're like, "Tell me about these typewriters. What did they do? How did they operate? I mean, why would you use a typewriter?" So no, there's very few out there. I think there's still some people, some old timers like us, probably that once in a while get that typewriter out and pluck away on it a little bit.
I've still got one at home also.
Yeah. It's a little more of a challenge, I think, to find those ribbons today, though.
I would imagine so. So we talked about how you developed, that you started in sales and you went into the business development. There had to have been someone that influenced you. Tell me about your mentors. Do you have a specific one, or there's several ones along the way?
There's several along the way, but one in particular is a gentleman by the name of Larry Perry Sr. I work with his son today, who's Larry Perry Jr., but his dad is who was involved in our business. He retired about 10 years ago, but he was very instrumental in my early years, and he was that guy that was there to coach me and give me ideas and pump me up when I was out on the streets getting beat up all the time, and but yeah, he was. There's so many things today that every day I don't think there's a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about something that he told me, or if I'm in a sales situation, I would think, what would Larry? Let's see, how would he handle this situation? So yeah, he was a great mentor. I've had a lot of others, but he was the one that really stands out.
Stands out in your mind.
Yeah.
So Pat, tell me, are you a reader?
Not so much. Probably more of a listener.
Okay.
I'm kind of a junkie when it comes to learning different sales strategies, different sales techniques, listen to sales trainers, but I'm not so much the reader. I like to listen to their podcasts. A lot of them, with the technology today, I can just put the earphones in and listen to the podcast. So I probably do a lot more than that. I probably should read more than I do, but it's just the convenience of listening is just better for me.
Let's talk a little bit about your background. Where did you go to school? Tell me all about you.
I grew up in a small town over in northwest Iowa. Very small little town. I think the current census now is 380 people, so
very small.
Very small. I graduated with about 62 in my class. It was a merger of several schools in the district. But grew up, went to a high school up there called Maple Valley, and decided that I wanted to get into business. Kind of made that decision partway through my senior year, and didn't quite know what I wanted to do for sure, but I knew I wanted to get into business. And a friend of mine who was a couple years older than me came down. He had come down to Des Moines and went to American Institute of Business. And he told me a lot about it, and I thought, boy, that really sounds appealing. I just really didn't want to go for 4 years. I wasn't that excited about that. But I knew I wanted to get into business. I knew I wanted to come to the city and kind of try that a little bit, see how that compared to the small town that I was from. And so that's what brought me to Des Moines, and it was just been here ever since. It was just, I never looked back.
Now, how long have you been in the Urbandale area? Because you live in Urbandale, correct?
I do.
And you're married.
I am.
And your wife is a teacher, from my understanding.
She's a teacher at Webster Elementary in Urbandale. She went back into teaching here about 5 or 6 years ago, once our kids were well on their way, and she took care of her twins, little boy, for a while. But once we got him into school, then she went back in and started subbing in the Urbandale School District, and then went to a part-time teaching, and now it's developed into a full-time teaching position.
How many children do you have, Pat?
I have 2.
2?
I have
okay.
2.
And ages?
Jennifer is 20. She'll be 21 in May. She's at the University of Iowa.
Excellent.
Actually, right now she's at John Cabot University. She might be listening. She said she was going to try to figure out on the web where this was going to be.
Excellent.
Yeah, so she might be listening right now.
Give a shout out. And
a
tell
shout
her
out.
Hi.
Say hi if she is. But she's at John Cabot University in Rome, and she's studying there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been there since January, and she'll be home here in about, I think she told me today, we were just Skyping before I came down here. I think she told me in 16 days she'll be home.
Oh, I
So
bet
I'm
you're
anxious
looking
to-
forward to that.
Yes.
All right, so that's one child. You
That's
have another one.
And then I have a senior, Jamie. She's over at Dowling Catholic, and she's kind of wrapping her high school years up right now, and she'll be heading off to Cedar Falls to UNI here in a couple months. So she's excited to get over there and get going. So we'll be empty nesters here real soon.
I bet you're kind of looking forward to that to some extent.
To some extent, it'll be different. Yeah, it'll be a lot different. We've been chasing kids for years and years, and going to their activities and their events, and so now we're gonna, I guess, kind of get our life back a little bit and start doing some things.
Any plans on traveling?
We travel every year. We maybe take one trip. We'll probably continue to do that. But I think we've kind of talked about maybe starting to play some golf, and I may start doing some of those things that I used to do years ago, like maybe a little fishing and hunting and some of those type of things.
Any fur babies at home, or?
Yes, we have. You're asking about the pets at home,
Yes,
right? Yes,
yes.
we have a couple. We have actually too many, in my opinion. We have 2 cats and a dog. So, we have more than we need.
Now, didn't your wife get some special recognition through the elementary school?
She was, she was featured in the Urbandale Living, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, and there was an article in there probably 3 or 4 months ago, I think. That was a really nice article. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Well, you bet. Well,
and
I really enjoyed it.
This is Spotlight on Business with Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. And remember, every Tuesday at 9 a.m., stop by the Chamber office, have a cup of coffee, not cinnamon rolls, not spare ribs, I don't cook, as Mac likes to say, but stop by for a cup of coffee, learn about the Chamber, and get all your questions answered. And thank you for joining us.